What's up, MotoFam? We are back here at Blue Star Suspension Concepts, and we are going to be checking out the Baja No Pinch Tool. So we're going to be breaking this box open, seeing what's inside and how it can help you out, and make sure you stay to the end because I'll get you 10% off using a discount code. Let's break into this thing. We've all been there. You spend your precious time pulling off a tire, mounting a new one, just to realize that you've pinched the tube and got to start all over again. That's where the Baja No Pinch tool comes in. It literally allows you to mount your tire without pinching the tube and lowers the likelihood of you scratching your rim. And if you're a person who spent a bunch of money on rims like I have, you always want to make sure that those things stay nice and clean. For today's use, I kind of want to put this thing through the ringer. So what I've done is I've taken an old KX rim with an old KX tire to see if this thing will actually push through that stiffness in the tire and mount it without pinching anything or scratching the rim. Let's check and see. For our application, we're going to use the 20mm mount, and we're going to use the 3/16 Allen to remove this bolt. You're going to take the handle portion, slide it down the middle, then reattach the bolt. That took me all of 30 seconds.
So as you can see, what I'm doing here is just getting a fresh tube inside before we actually get on the tire itself.
All right, so the first thing we're going to do is get the Baja No Pinch tool set down the middle of the hub right there. It's important to set up the arm correctly. So what you're going to do is insert it into the tool. Make sure that it's not on the rim and it's not too high up. We want it right around there. That way when we add some pressure, it easily moves down into the lip of the rim. I'm not a pro tire changer. I'm new to this tool specifically, so I'm gonna make sure that I have my bead buddy just to get me started.
I won't even lie, I thought I would be able to bust this thing out super quick. It didn't work out the way I thought.
All right, so I made the mistake, but this is why it's so important to have this thing set up in the right position. Come in close and you'll see I put the arm too low on the bead itself, and so now I have it wedged between the rim and the tire. No big deal, we can get it back out super simply, but that way you guys can see why you want to be right in the middle there.
So I used my hand to help guide the arm, and that seemed to do the trick.
So for a guy like me who hates changing tires, barely ever does it, on a old ratty tire with all the mistakes that I made, including locking it up under the rim, that only took me 5 minutes to mount this tire. That's rad. Here's a couple tips that I just learned from putting this on that you can implement yourself. Number one, I'd recommend that you start at the rim lock. Instead of starting somewhere random, it seems like it would be easier to start there and maybe work each side until you get to the other side if you'd like to do it that way. I decided to go halfway around, and then I realized it was easier to start again on the other side and get the whole lip back in. Number two, if you'll notice in some parts of the video, I was guiding the arm right where I need it to be. That's super important. That way you don't scratch the rim. One thing I also found out is we tried to mount the tire with and without the spacer, and we found out that with the spacer in, it gave it a little bit of leverage just to be off the hub just a bit. I've done some research and watched some other videos of guys using this tool, and I can tell you many of them did not need a bead buddy. I'm new to this, and I can tell you that I think that after I've done a couple of these tires, I could probably bust out a tire like this in maybe a minute or two. As I mentioned earlier in the video, Baja No Pinch tool actually comes with adapters. That way, no matter what kind of bike you're riding on, you have an option. And just to show you, this rim's off a 65, and they have an adapter for it as well. So it doesn't matter if you have a big bike or a small bike, this tool should be able to help you. And if you want to double check, I'll put in the description below what the diameters are of each one of these adapters. For me, this tool is definitely a 9 out of 10. With a little bit of practice, it probably would be a 10 out of 10. It makes tire mounting so much easier than just using spoons and brute force. And especially if you're the type of guy who has a shop or a race team and you're trying to minimize downtime or make yourself a little bit more efficient inside the shop, this might be a must-need tool for you. Best part is, I'm going to save you 10% off when you use the promo code MYBAJA10. Go to bajanopinch.com or go to the link in my description and you can click it there and check out the tool for yourself. As always, special thanks to Blue Star Suspension Concepts for opening up his shop to let me film these videos. Special thanks to Baja No Pinch tool for allowing me to review this item. Do me a favor, if you've ever used the Baja No Pinch tool, comment below what your thoughts are on it, any tips and tricks to help out the rest of the community. We'll see you guys on the next one, MotoFam.